All right, you guys, for the third part of section 5.5, part of the assignment is going to ask you to solve by completing the square. Well, that's what we've been doing for the last several assignments, so I don't feel I need to give you any examples of how to do that because I think we got it checked off. The second part of the assignment is going to say solve by factoring, by finding square roots, or by completing the square. What they're giving you is, depending on how the thing is written, determines whether you solve it by factoring, by finding square roots, or by completing the square. It's not saying you have to do all three for each given problem. In all the other homework, like for example, solve by completing the square, they're going to have given you something in standard form. And they wanted you to complete the square to do it. Well, completing the square, as I think you guys have seen, sometimes it's kind of hard to do. Well, you can also do it by factoring, and that's where we started this chapter. So looking at this one, take a second and see if the thing will factor rather than having to go through the process of completing the square. Completing the square will get you the same answer, but I think, even with your guys' initial misgivings about factoring, this is actually an easier way to go. I'm going to try 3 and 4 for 12 and see what happens. So, oops, that's an X. 3, 4. So I think I've almost got it right there. So I'm going to call this one a plus and this one a minus. There's 8x and a minus 3x gives you a positive 5x. So I got it pretty quickly. I know this one had a fair number of choices because of the 12. But now that you've got the thing factored, remember the zero product property. Something times something, and it equals 0. What do? You set those things equal to 0 and solve each one. Well, 2x minus 3 equals 0, and x plus 4 equals 0. Solve them both. So 2x is equal to 3. Divide both sides by 2. And you get x equals 3 halves. Subtract the 4, negative 4. So 3 halves and negative 4 would be your answers. Now you can get that by completing the square, but factoring is going to be easier. Okay, I think. Now, it's your call. You're the one that's in charge of doing the homework assignment. If you look at this one and go, you know what? I just detest factoring, and completing the square isn't as distasteful, then go ahead and complete the square on it. It's up to you. As long as you're showing your work, I'm not going to force you to do it one way or the other. The only time I'm going to force you which way to do it is when they specifically say. So like in this section, when they say solve by completing the square, yeah, I want you to do it by completing the square. So if they give it to you like this, in the section where it's your choice, try factoring it or completing the square. Now, if they give you ones that look like this, by all means, extract the root. And what that means is do what you do once you complete the square. So in other words, they've completed the square for you. Just finish it. Don't expand this. Oh, that would be the wrong way to go. Absolutely. Divide by 4. Negative 6 over 4, which is negative 3. There we go. Get rid of that 4. Negative 3 over 2. Now you square root both sides. Don't forget there's a negative in there, and don't forget you can split this into 2 parts. So negative 3 square root of 2. Don't forget the negative has to pop out, and you have to rationalize that. So x minus 3 equals plus or minus. There's going to be an I square root of 3 over 2. Oops, square root of 2. Don't forget you have to rationalize it. So x minus 3 equals plus or minus I square root of 6 over 2, because the bottom is now 2. Now you can add the 3 over. 3 plus or minus I square root of 6 over 2. That would be your final answer. If they give you one like this, it's even easier than these. This one, add the 15. Oops, I forgot the 9. Sorry about that. Surprised it doesn't think I wrote a 4. Divide by 9, which reduces to 5/3. Square root both sides. Don't forget to split it. So you have x equals, and don't forget the plus and minus, a lot of things not to forget. Rationalize it, multiply by the square root of 3. X is equal to plus or minus the square root of 15 over 3. And you're finished. That's it. Okay, that's all 3 parts.